ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति।
So there's a question. I'll put it up.
Yes. How to control the mind from receiving dussanga, wrong association, through the senses which affects my inner journey. Question. How to control the mind from dussanga, wrong association, through the senses which affects my inner journey. Move away from him. Move away from him. Dussanga is gone. Answer. Because he's sitting with her husband next to her. I said, move away from him. All problem is sorted out. What are you doing, Ravi? The nature of the senses is to contact the world. The nature of the senses is to do that. Through each and every sense organ, let us say, the five sense organs through which the world enters you. Jnanendriyas. The world enters you through the five sense organs. So, these five sense organs is that which makes the world enter you. And these sense organs carry the data to the mind and it leaves some impressions behind. And it reacts with, it's not an empty mind. So there is the data that goes in through the senses and there is the mind that is already having its own set of likes and dislikes. So the data that goes from the senses through the mind reacts within the mind and some responses happen. This is the transaction of life. Receipt of stimuli, reaction within, and responses back into the world. The first thing in the journey of spiritual path, the inner journey, is always sense control. Sense control is the important aspect of the journey. In the Bhagavad Gita, where he talks about Sthita Prajna, the Sthita Prajna Lakshana. First he defines, in 3 verses, he defines who is Sthita Prajna. And the definition and all beyond the point is of no use because we can say, wow, this person is great. And then what? I also have to do something to get to that level. So then he comes up with what is known as Sthita Prajna Sadhana. In that Sthita Prajna Sadhana, he doesn't talk about Raga Dvesha control. He doesn't talk about mind control. He talks about sense control. He doesn't talk about mind control. He talks about sense control. Again, sense control is far more irritating and frustrating than the mind control. Because we always think of how to control the mind, sir. How to control the mind? How to control the mind? Control the senses. If you want to control the mind, control the senses. No, no, no. I don't have to worry about controlling the senses and all. But how can I control the mind? Directly. See your mind, observe the mind, witness the mind, and it will just melt away. Yeah? If it can be done like that, more things. Shankaracharya didn't know this method. Vedanta Krishna doesn't know this method. They have the method. What is their method? Sense control. What does sense control means? I make an effort through each and every sense organ to associate with that reminds me of divine. That is sense control. Sense control means through the 5 sense organs. We said through the 5 sense organs, the world enters you. What are the 5 sense organs through the world enters you? Jnanendriyas. Let us take an example, one example, eyes. Let us take an example, eye. The world enters you through the eyes. Now, if you want to have the proper spiritual growth, what sight you should see and what sight you should not see. That is, the sight that you should not see is called dussanga. The sight that you have to see is called satsanga. Everyone understand the definition? Now, why do we call it as dussanga? We call it as dussanga because it takes your mind away from the divine. Anything that takes your mind away from the divine is dussanga. So, for example, sight. Whatsoever sights that takes me away from the divine, that doesn't make me remember the divine, that takes me away from the divine, I have to say no. That is satsanga. That is satsanga. You follow? I can't say I will see whatever I feel like seeing and also grow spiritually. Both doesn't go together. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, but sir, my life is like that. What do I do? My life is like that. What do I do? Okay, you have chosen to postpone spiritual journey. That's all. Where is the problem? Are you able to follow? Suppose if you come back and say, my lifestyle is like that, sir, where I have to see only all these things. I have to be out in the world, contacting the world. I have to do everything only. Where? Reminding me of the divine through that and all is very, very less. What do I do? What is the answer I'll give? Okay, at least accept the fact that you have postponed. At least accept the fact that you are postponing divine. You are postponing. You can't say, I will, through the senses, I will do whatever I feel like doing and also pursue the path. Both doesn't go together. But sir, it looks like a self-torture, no then? It looks like self-torture, no? But in Vedanta, we have studied, we should not. It's only the attitude that matters. I can do it objectively. All that we have studied, no, sir. Yeah, good. The fact is you are postponing. The fact is you are postponing. What sound I hear, what sound I choose not to hear. Music, let us say. What music I choose to hear, what music I choose not to hear. In Carnatic music, Karagara Priya, you can have a Chakani Raja song. In Karagara Priya, you can have a movie indulgent song. Raga is the same. Raga is the same. Raga doesn't differ. Raga will be the same. Now, what you choose to hear is what it kindles. You follow? So, through that's why this music is so wonderful, because either it will talk about the divine or it will address the mind. All the songs, the music and everything that goes with it has only two purposes. Either it will remember, either it will talk about the divine, or it will address the mind. Therefore, it becomes a satsang. You follow? Therefore, it becomes the satsang. Through the ears. So each and every sense organ, you decide. And then you develop a lifestyle around that. That's how you can avoid the dussam. You follow? What will happen if you do this? Total non-cooperation from everybody around you. You choose to do this lifestyle. First thing that you have to be prepared is what? Total non-cooperation from others. The fact that people are not cooperating means you are doing the right thing. You know that, no? If people are not cooperating, it means you are definitely doing the right thing. If people are cooperating, definitely you are not doing something right. You take that as the corollary. You take that as the corollary. You follow? You know, it's the truth of life. It's the truth of life. Feast, your halls will be crowded. Fast. Feast, your halls will be crowded. Fast. You fast alone. Nobody will come and say, oh, you are fasting today, I'll come and join you. We both will fast together. If anybody says that, fall at that person's feet. Are you able to follow? Where is it going to happen? You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, the courage to satsang, the courage to follow satsang means you are willing to choose a loner life. Satsang means you are willing to be lonely. That's where it is so difficult. You are choosing a life which is lonely. Why? Because others are not going to. I'm not saying others are bad. I'm not saying others are selfish. I am saying that's not their priority. Understand that. I'm not saying they're all bad, selfish people, rakshasas around you. I'm not saying that. Vedanta comes and says that's not their priority. Now, since you have chosen divine as your priority, does it mean everybody around you has to cooperate? Are you okay till now? Just because you have chosen divine doesn't mean the whole world has to cooperate. Yeah. Why they don't cooperate? Because their priorities are different. I need to have this maturity and accept it. Instead of, otherwise what happens? The very spiritual path that I'm following itself will make me a very big critic of, I'll be so judgmental and critical of everybody around me. Are you able to follow? I'll be so critical and judgmental of everybody around me because I used to think, I chose to go, why should everybody around support it? You follow what I'm saying? They will support only when it is their priority. When it is not their priority, they cannot support. It means what? You accept the fact. What is the fact that you accept? The non-cooperation is not because of resistance to divine. When others are not cooperating, it's not that they are resisting the divine. They are simply saying it's not yet my priority. You follow? Therefore, satsang means what? Through each and every sense organ, you make an effort to remember the divine. Through each and every sense organ, you make an effort to remember the divine. Isn't it? The tongue. Yeah, the tongue. You will not eat the food that you like. You will eat the food that which your God likes. That's satsang. For example, if you started liking Rama, don't like Rama, huh? Supposing you started liking Rama, today is Ram Navami, no? Isn't it? Wonderful day. Wonderful day. Beautiful day, isn't it? ராமாராமன் சொல்லின்னு இருக்கணும். எதுக்கு இங்க கிளாஸ் எடுக்கிறோம்னு தெரியல. Isn't it? ராமாராமன் சொல்லியிருந்தா அட்லீஸ்ட் growth ஆகுது நடந்தது. Isn't it? What is satsang there? You like Ganesha. What food Ganesha likes? Whether you like it or not, you have to eat modaka. That is sense control. No. I like Seedai, but Ganesha, it doesn't work like that. You follow what I'm saying? So, in relation to everything, in relation to each and every sense organ, you associate with the divine. You associate with the divine. Ram Navami, what Rama likes? What Rama likes? Neer more avladha. That's all, isn't it? Sugar water, salt water. That's what he likes. What does he like? He doesn't like yogurt. He doesn't like yogurt. No, correct. He doesn't like yogurt. What he likes? Need more. So he likes salt water and he likes sugar water. Avladha. Devotee of Rama should have that morning and evening. Oh my God. Sir. This is not what we know of satsang and all. We will do what? You follow? So through each and every sense organ, you ensure that it is associated with the divine. Why you want to lead why do you want to lead a life like that? Why will anybody choose to live a life like that? What drives them to make this choice? Divine has become the priority. Divine has become the priority. In the list la கடைசியில இருந்தா கூட பரவாயில்ல, divine has entered into the list of priorities. First, let divine enter your list. Over a period of time, he will replace everything else and he will come on top. இப்போ என்ன இருக்கும்? Priority list la கடைசியில இருக்கும். In the list, he will be at the bottommost. But still, it is better to bring him in the list. At least bring him into the list now. What does bringing him into the list means? At least 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, I will not do anything other than this. Because 22 hours you have to run. At least 2 hours you give it to divine. That is satsang. Follow? That is called through the words. Through the words, what do you do? Through the words, what do you do? Yeah. Unga constituency la yaar sir nikranga? Who is the candidate in your constituency, sir? I don't know who the candidate is. I don't. 4 hours you can talk on. 4 hours you can talk. To chant the Lord's name 100 times takes only 15 minutes. That 15 minutes people don't You're not doing Sahasranama, isn't it? Just 100 times. How much time it will take? That also we find it very difficult. You follow what I mean? So satsang means starting a lifestyle of exclusively remembering the divine for a dedicated period of time every day. For a dedicated period of time every day, morning and evening, I do only for at that time everything comes to a standstill. That is the time everybody around you will say, அப்பதான் ரவி சொல்றார் ஒரு காஃபி கொடுத்துட்டு போயான்னு வரும். Ravi will say, give coffee and go and do your chanting. அப்படின்னா what you have to say satsang? Sorry சொல்லணும். Sorry, make your own coffee. But sir, that is not, it's not the dharma of the wife, no? That's not the dharma of the wife, no? Now what to do? Are you going to follow? So, you say that, see, satsang means the courage to say no to everything around you for the sake of divine. That's not satsang. What is the formula of satsang? The courage to say no to everything around you for the sake of divine for 1 hour in a day. I'm saying 1 hour is too much. Start with whatever time. Just using 1 hour as an example. I'm not literally saying spend 1 hour. I'm not literally saying spend 1 hour. But that exclusivity. Now, when you are exclusively focusing on divine, you are saying no to everything around else temporarily. Courage comes from saying no. Courage doesn't come from saying yes. Courage comes from saying no. You need courage to say yes, or you need courage to say no. You need courage to say no. Because when you say no, you are risking something. When you say no, you are risking something. What is it that you are risking? The displeasure of everybody around you, you are risking. And this person is saying, it's okay. Mahatma Gandhi writes in his book. At that time, he is not a Mahatma Gandhi. At that time, he wasn't a Mahatma. And no guarantee whether he will become a Mahatma or not at that point of time. One day he told his wife, and I'm going to fight for freedom. I'm going to fight for people's freedom. Where? Where he started that? Where he started that? South Africa, not here. And he went to South Africa for what? Project report. Project Bonaranga. You know that? No, he didn't go there. He went on a project. Somebody said go there, some help is required. So he went there. Having gone there, he saw a few things and he decided to quit the job and take this up as the cause and fight. Wife said, very correct. What you are doing is very noble, very great. But all this you should have decided before getting married. Correct, no? You should have decided before getting married. You will get married, produce 4 children, and then say, I'm going to do this. Get back to work, she said. Get back to work. All this, we will worry later. He writes in his book. Sleepless nights I have to spend convincing myself, he says. Sleepless nights I have to spend convincing myself, he says. Not the wife and the children. Because in satsang, the major problem of working for a cause comes from where? We all think it is environmental non-cooperation. It is not the environmental non-cooperation. It always comes from our own mind, our own weaknesses. What is the weaknesses? Since I have taken this as a priority, everybody should cooperate as a weakness. Are you able to follow? Since I have taken this as a priority, everybody around me should cooperate. And when they don't cooperate, I get into difficulty. You follow? Now, what is it? Through the senses, avoiding dussang means take up to satsang so that you will avoid dussang. Satsang eduthamna dussang automatically போகும். Now, what is taking up satsang? Sasangatve, nissangatvam, nissangatve, nirmohatvam. I'm assuming you are asking from that. Sasangatve, nissangatvam, nissangatve, nirmohatvam, nirmohatve, nischalatatvam, nischalatatve, jivan mukti. Vajagovinda. He says all starts with satsang. What does satsang means? Good association. Good association means what? Through the senses, to ensure that only divine will be remembered. Only divine will be remembered. That's why we say, even when you go to a temple, go dharma darshanam. Yeah, go. Why? Because 3 hours you have to stand in the queue. In that, and he's sitting right in front of me, looking into my eyes. Yeah. He said, sir, how long it will take? I said, 45 minutes. I know 1.5 hours it's going to take. 45 minutes it will be there. On the road we are standing, 2-kilometer queue. No, how it will happen in 45 minutes? What to do, sir? What to do? Chant. Because where do you get that satsang? Where will you get that satsang to just do that? Are you able to follow? Why can't I do it at home? If I can do it at home, I need not go there. Ideally, I should be able to do it at home only. But we have to go there because at home, we don't have the courage to say, no to our own minds. Because of the self, because of our own weaknesses in our place where we don't have the courage to say no, we need to go and start in all these places. You follow? Ultimately, where it has to be done? It has to be done at your place only. 2-3 times you do, everybody around will start cooperating. See, making the world cooperate is the easiest thing. People think that is the most difficult. You know what is the difficult thing? To make your mind cooperate is a difficult thing. Making the others cooperate is very easy. Like, so easy it is. You just need to know what to say, what not to say. That's all. You learn the trick. Cooperation from the world is so easy, so easy. Even if they are not cooperating, at least they will just leave you around. At least they will leave you alone. That itself is a cooperation. At least they will simply leave you alone. You follow what I'm saying? Where you will have a real problem is seeking cooperation from your mind. And to make your mind to cooperate, mind must develop an affinity. புடிச்சாதான் மைண்ட் கோஆபரேட் பண்ணும். பிடிக்கலன்னா மைண்ட் கோஆபரேட் பண்ணாது. And you have to make your mind develop an affinity. Affinity comes when? Affinity will come when? Affinity comes when? When you are constantly thinking about it. You constantly keep going around the same thing again and again and again. In a matter of 3 days, you will believe that you can't live life without it. Just your mind going around it. Just the mind circling around it. You follow what I'm saying? So, allow the mind to flow in with the divine like that. Use the nature of the mind to develop affinity to the divine. Are you able to follow? Because how the mind operates? The mind operates by constant thinking. How do you develop affinity to anything? How do you develop affinity to anything? By constantly thinking about it. You constantly think about it. You don't know that you are constantly thinking about it. That's why others come and say you are lost. If you can know that you are getting lost, you have attained a very good level of growth. Others come and tell you you are You are lost. Why? Because the thoughts are simply circling around it again. It just goes round and round and round. That's how you develop affinity to anything. Where have we studied this? Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu vajayate. It all starts with a thought. And the root for that a thought is the senses. Through what? The first thought. Which feeds you the first thought? The perception, the senses. The senses. Therefore, be careful at the senses. Because Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha, he says, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, 62, 63, the ladder of fall. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangaste Shupajayate, Angat Sanjayate Kamaha, Kamat Krodho Vijayate, Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha, Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha, Smriti Bramshat Buddhinashaha, Buddhinashat Pranashyati. You lose. That's why they say you are lost. That's why they say you are lost. You are lost. How do you lose yourself in anything? By constantly thinking about it. Constantly thinking about it. At the thought level itself, I have to stop. At the sensory input level itself, I have to stop. That is satsang. Most of the time, we don't do that at the input level. We allow the mind to fully spin and then come and ask, what to do now, sir? Yeah, sir. Take care. What to do now, sir? What to do now, sir? I will say, what to do? Narayana only can help. We don't know how to. You follow what I'm saying? Then what is satsang? At the very first thought level itself, it has to be filtered, but we don't filter it at that first thought level. We encourage it so fully, and then look for reasons to. You follow the fallacy of dussang. We encourage it so much, and then we will find reasons to support it. Anybody who comes in with a reason to support, don't talk to that person after that. Just stay quiet and pray for the welfare of that person. Why? Because decision is already been made. Are you able to follow? Decision is already made. Why? Because thinking has gone so much around it that they themselves have no control. Are you able to follow? So it means, what is satsang? The sensory inputs triggers a thought. At that level itself, I have to filter it. That's very difficult. That is very difficult. Utopia it is. Therefore, somewhere down the line, we can catch it. That's why he gives the stages, ladder of fall. It all starts with a thought. If we can stop it at that level, you are safe. Okay, but the human being cannot stop it at that level. You develop a sangha. Sangas. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate. Sangha you develop. Sangha means association. You have developed an association with it. Association means what? Association means it's nice. Sangha has developed. You got it. It's nice. That is called sangha. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. The sangha lend enna vandudhu? Desire comes. What is the desire? I want it. I want it. Kamaha. அப்படிதான் desire வருது. After desire has come, smriti goes out. Smriti means memory goes, loss of memory. What is loss of memory? I can't live without it. First is sight. Another is appreciation. Third is, like, if it is there, it's good. If it is not there also, I'm okay, sir. That fellow is already finished. Kama has taken over already. He's just justifying. It's justification. We understand, but we also pretend to be dumb, saying, it's okay, it's okay. But it doesn't work like that. Because Kama has already taken over. What is Kama? Without it, adillama இருக்கவே முடியாது சார். பட் இல்லப்பா, அது இல்லாம தானே இவ்வளவு நாளா இருந்த. You have been without it for so long. No, how did you do without it for so long that all of a sudden you are saying without it I cannot? இதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு புரியாது சார். All this you will not understand. Correct. Satsang means we don't want to understand it. We will follow what is satsang now. We don't want to understand. Okay. Sense control. What is sense control now? What is sense control? At every level, you ensure that it doesn't develop into a kama. Kamat krodho vijayate. Instant reaction of kama is krodha. Because you will go and talk about your desire to others. You will go and talk about it to others. That I cannot live without it. What will the other say? What will the other say? You are a fool. Which you will not. What will the other say? You are a fool to think like that. You will get krodho vijayate. Krodha comes, anger comes. But you don't want to be happy or what? You don't want me to be happy or what? Are you able to follow? No. You want to be really happy, that's why I am saying no. Krodho vijayate. And then various modifications. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibrama. Smriti vibrama means Brahma. Brahman என்ன அர்த்தம்? தமிழ்ல கூட சொல்றோம். பிரம்ம புடிச்ச மாதிரி உட்கார்ந்திருக்கிறான்னு சொல்றோம். Brahma means what? Brahma means a possessed state. A state of, possessed state, you understand, no? You can see in the state of possessiveness when people walk around. In each and every cell in the body, you can see that. What do you call? பேய் பிடிச்சிருந்துன்றாங்கல்ல, அப்படி இருக்கும். அது பேய் பிடிச்ச மாதிரி இருக்கும். அது உண்மையிலே பேய் பிடிக்கிறதுன்னா அதுதான். The eyes, the smile, the speed in the walk, the actions, the thought. Or look at them, you feel like, இவங்கள மாதிரி டைனமிக்கா இருக்கணும் சார். You will feel like that. You will feel like this is how I should be dynamic. Poor Krishna doesn't understand all this. Bhagavad Gita, he said, that is the state of, you are in a state of Brahma. Smriti, Brahmsha, Buddhinasha. Discrimination is gone completely. Discrimination is gone completely means what? Discrimination is gone completely means what? No intellect. Discrimination completely gone means? Discrimination completely gone means? Can't choose. You don't know what is right, what is wrong. அதெல்லாம் பிரம்மாலே வந்துடுது. Distraction. சிவஞானம், என்ன கேள்விப்பா கேட்ட? இவ்வளவு ஆன்சர் சொன்னதுல நான் கேட்ட கேள்வி மறந்துட்டேன். What did I ask? Discrimination is gone. How do you know? There is one indicator for discrimination gone completely. After that only you cannot talk. Up to that point you can do that. A point where discrimination is gone completely. What is that point? What does it indicate? What is it indicator? ஒரே indicator தான். Stubbornness. Stubbornness. What is the indicator? என்ன consequence வந்தாலும் நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன் சார். Whatever the consequences are, I will take care. At that point, you know that person has completely lost the discrimination, because if he has understood the consequences, he knows that he cannot handle it. Are you able to follow? What is the indication that discrimination is gone? They say, I can handle it. If they have actually understood it, they know that they cannot handle it. Are you able to follow? Buddhi nashat, discrimination gone means what? It's not the confusion. If I have to choose, I am confused. Discrimination gone is not confusion. Discrimination gone means a kind of tamasic buddhi. That is discrimination gone. Tamasic buddhi. Not kind of tamasic buddhi. La. It is tamasic buddhi. It is tamasic buddhi. You follow? It's okay, sir. அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம். People say that, no? அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம். Whatever comes, we will deal with it later. Because, sir, anyway, we can't predict the future, no? Correct. Shankaracharya will like to fall at your feet on this philosophy, because he thinks I'm not having this objectivity. The objectivity that you have looks like I'm not having it. I'm struggling to have this objectivity, and you just got it. Like that, you got that. Like this, you got that objectivity. No. Discrimination. Are you able to follow? What was the starting point of it? Filters not applied at the sensory, at the level of the senses. That's why sense control is a very important discipline. Are you able to follow? Anybody talks about ragadvesha control, I don't get that excited. Any question about sense control, I get very excited. Because that's what the starting point is. You cannot be liberal on the senses and try to control the mind. You can't be liberal at the sensory input level and try to be having the control at the mind. If you want to control the mind, you have to control the senses. And what is controlling the senses mean? Through all the 5 senses, make an effort to remember the divine. Make an effort to remember the divine. You can't do it 24/7, but at least you do it in a dedicated, in a prefixed dedicated time. At least do that, isn't it? Minimum, we say at least light the lamp. No? But sir, I'm so busy that I can't. To light the lamp also, I have no time now. What to do? Huh? It is not lighting the lamp. You can put on this light, or what is the difference between this light and that light? It's not the light. It is you having the courage to say no to the indulgences for a short period of time and sacrifice the indulgences for the short period of time for the sake of the divine. That's what the situation is. Are you able to follow? You are able to sacrifice your indulgences for a short period of time for the sake of the divine. You know, when they light the arti in the temple and show it to God, you know what mantra they say? Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Mundaka Upanishad also has the same mantra. No light can light you up. The sunlight cannot light you up. Moonlight cannot light you up. what this light is going to light you up. Epoda. Arti. This is the Arti mantra. You know that? Do you know that? This is the Arti mantra. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. It means they clearly know this and that have no correlation. But the fact that you are doing does a lot of benefit to your sense control and ragadvesha manage control. You follow what I am saying? You hear this first. Anyway, then what is the point in lighting the lamp? Correct. There's no point in lighting the lamp. There's no point in doing any sense discipline. You follow? Very beautiful is that mantra. I don't know how they even chose that mantra to do when they do the earth. It's a Vedic mantra which comes in Mundaka also. It comes and in two other Upanishads also it comes. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. The sun cannot light you. The moon cannot light you. If that great luminaries themselves cannot light you, what is the small lamp going to reveal you? Logic padi pata, what you should do immediately? Shut it and go out, no? Shut it and go out, no? Logically speaking, you should shut it and go out because that's what you are saying. No, that is satsang. Why? Because you are able to take that, you are able to say no to the indulgences for a period of time for the sake of divine. Are you okay till now? So what is the formula for satsang now? Discipline for the sake of divine is satsang. Just discipline per se is not satsang. Discipline per se is not satsang. Discipline for the sake of divine. And the divine element kondu vandada, the discipline can be called as satsang. Otherwise, you are a very indulgent materialistic person, disciplined materialistic person. Avladha, rende category. Again, I repeat. Either you are an indulgent materialistic or you are a disciplined materialistic. The disciplined materialistic person, having heard these few Vedanta lectures, comes and says, I didn't know that I was practicing Vedanta. How many people have told me this? Sir, I didn't even know that I was practicing Vedanta even before. I said, oh my God, I didn't know that. Because I am finding it so difficult to practice with knowing, even without your... So what they misunderstand is a disciplined materialistic person, because of that discipline, they misunderstand it to be they are already in the path. Are you able to follow? No. Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing study and prayer is satsang. Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going for a jog, na? What is that called? That's a discipline, sir. Brahma Muhurta time I am waking up, no? Correct, no? In Brahma Muhurta time I am waking up, no, sir? Then isn't it satsang? Newspaper fellow wakes up. Coimbatore market is awake. I live near that place, no? Milk paper fellow wakes up. All the people wakes up. Does it mean they are practicing satsang? No. So what is the formula for satsang now? Not just discipline. Discipline for the sake of divine. Discipline for the sake of divine. That is satsang. You follow? So it's not just discipline. Discipline, connect the discipline to divine. So when you choose to follow sense control at the level of all the 5 senses, you are able to connect it to the divine. You follow? Remembering the divine. Satsang means that which helps you to remember the divine. The very fact that we are making an effort to remember the divine implies what? We have a tendency to forget. Because we have the tendency to forget, because we have the tendency to get distracted. Forgetting means what? Distraction. Because we have the tendency to get distracted, and by the distraction, we forget the divine. Satsang becomes a very important discipline. Are you able to follow? Remembrance becomes a very important discipline when, because we have the tendency to forget. No. Don't use the word forget. We have the tendency to get distracted. Yeah. I forgot, sir. Na, you feel it is legitimate. Distraction, na? Yeah, that's why words has to be carefully chosen. Supposing if you say, I forgot, na, there is a legitimacy, sir. Maradhi ellarkum nyanam, sir. Marakalamla. Is it a crime to forget? Because so many things we forget, no. Don't use the word forget. Use the word distraction. Because of you getting distracted, you don't pay any attention to the divine. In order to bring the attention back to divine, satsang is necessary. Satsang is necessary. One. Yes. Yes. If you see anything that is unpleasant, the clarification that she is asking is, if I see anything unpleasant in front, that time also I should remember the divine. That time also I should remember the divine. Why? I am seeing it as unpleasant because my ego is getting affected. That unpleasantness is because of my ego there. That's all it is. Evolve. Second, unpleasantness is limited factors. You think it is full facts. Evolve. Limited factors is what you see. Those limited factors that you see itself, you take it as the full facts. The law of karma comes, and the law of karma has taught us what? What does law of karma has taught us? What is law of karma teaching? Each and every situation that you are in is your own making by the resultant force. Each and every situation that you are in is your own making by the resultant force. அப்படின்னா unpleasantன்றது, there is no such thing called unpleasant at all. What has to happen is happening. Are you able to follow? What has to happen is happening. This understanding you will have, but you will still try to help the other. Again, this understanding you have, and you still try to help the other, because the human being has purushartha also, no? The human being has purushartha also. Therefore, you want to use the purushartha aspect in a human being, help the person to get out. But in your head, you have the clarity. What is the clarity? What has to happen is happening. Don't say will happen. Future tense soladillo. What has to happen is happening. Ippo, in the present tense. That is understanding law of karma. Therefore, when you see anything unpleasant, you don't see it as unpleasant at all. What has to happen is happening. Now I have two options. What are the two options? Kai kattinu witness pannalam. I can just witness it. Vedika paathan irkalam. Or I can do something and help. We take the second option. We don't do the first option. We take the second option. What is the second option? Sir, what has to happen is happening. Then how can we even help? The same law of karma has taught us purushartha also. Therefore, we want to employ the purushartha aspect in that situation and help the other. Are you able to follow? Therefore, or unpleasant situation naka kuda, you don't see it as unpleasant. You understand it as what has to happen is happening. What has to happen is happening. Because we have understood karma. Because we have understood the law of karma. Law of karma has two components. Now we have studied that. I'm not going into the details of it again. Law of karma has two components. At any given point of time, it's a mixture of prarabdha and purushartha. What has to happen is happening is prarabdha. What you can do is purushartha. What you meet is your prarabdha. How you meet it is purushartha. You cannot prevent it from happening. That we cannot do. Can we prevent it from happening? Satsangla follow பண்ணி வந்திருந்தா அப்படி ஆயிருக்காது. If you have done that, if you have done the life of satsangatve, nissangatve, nirmohatvam life, if I have lived, that would not have happened. Since it didn't happen, since that life was not led, it is happening. One thing is to say they deserve it and walk away. Another thing is to say, still I can do something to help. 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 Why? Because the same karma that told you what has to happen is happening is the same karma that taught you also purushartha. That purushartha. You follow? Therefore, whenever you see anything unpleasant happening, you understand it in this background, and you will go out and whatever you could do, you will do. What you will do is what you will do is depending upon desha, kala, patra, etc. We are not getting into those details, but definitely you can do something, either through manasam karma or through vachikam karma or through kayakam karma. You can do something. Yeah. If you can't do anything through kayakam karma, you can do vachikam karma. If you can't do anything through vachikam karma, you can do something through manasam karma. Manasam karma is prayer. That manasam karma that you can do for another is called prayer. You pray. Sankalpa Sakti, action. No, prayer is an action. Thought is an action, and action will produce a result. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo navidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahadopayat. Kramanashame kadayad Arjuna. There's no such thing called wasted effort. There's no such thing called wasted effort at all. Kramanasha naiha asti means nasti. Kramanasha nasti means kramanasha na asti. It means what? There is no such thing called wasted effort. One. Pratyavayo, opposite effect varad. Contrary effect also doesn't come. Idhukku mela enna guarantee kuduka mudiyum? What more guarantee he can give? There is no kramanasha. Also there is no pratyavaya. Na vidyate. When this law will guide your life, when this law will shape your life, swalpam apyasya dharmasya. Swalpam. In the dharmava, kunjama swalpamna, little bit, even little bit of this practice, Arjuna. Trayade mahadobhayat. It protects you from great fears. It protects you. Such a courage and conviction he gives. What a courage he gives. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo vidyate. Pratyavayame kadayat. What is this dharma that you have to practice? Swalpam sassangatve nissangatvam. In the dharma konjam practice pannugo. What is that? Sassangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirma. All that. I'm not going into the details of it. What is that swalpam apyase dharma? What is that little dharma? He says, practice this. Practice this satsang. And what is satsang? Starting with sense control. Start with one sense. Start with one sense. That's the beautiful and the 12 yajnas in the 12 yajnas, he says, at least start with one sense and then move on to the 5 senses and then move into the mind. In the 12 yajna portion, in chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita, where he says, beautifully he says how you can go step. First he says, start with ஒரு சென்ஸ் ஆர்கன்ல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க, எல்லாத்துலயும் ஆரம்பிக்க முடியாது. ஸ்டார்ட் வித் ஒன் சென்ஸ் அண்ட் தென் மூவ் ஃப்ரம் 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 and with that control, with that strength, deal with your mind. Strength இல்ல, துளி கூட ஸ்ட்ரென்த் இல்ல. சென்ஸ் என்றால் ஆடின்னு இருக்குது. So weak at the level of the senses, and I want to control my mind. எப்படி கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றது? அப்படி கண்ணு மூடி உட்கார்ந்துனே இருக்கணும். அப்படி I can see my mind and I can control my mind. I don't know. At least Shankaracharya didn't know this technique. Yeah. You have to educate the mind. For the mind to listen to the education, for the mind to listen, sense control is very essential, because mind will listen when? Only when it looks up to. Mind will listen when? யார் சொல்ற பேச்சு மைண்ட் கேட்கும்? யார் சொன்ன பேச்சும் கேட்க மாட்டேன்றது. ஏன்னா ஐ டோன்ட் லுக் அப் டு எனிபடி. சப்போசிங் இஃப் ஐ ஹேவ் அ பர்சன் ஹூ ஐ லுக் அப் டு, அவர் சொல்லிட்டாருப்பா, அதனால so mind means you have to, mind will listen only when it looks up to. When will the mind look up to? When somebody shows strength. When somebody shows strength, நம்ம அப்படியே ஆடுற சிச்சுவேஷன் அவர் எப்படி ஸ்டெடியா இருக்கிறாருன்றதா மைண்ட் லுக்ஸ் அப். Are you able to follow? Where I am shivering. Yeah. Arjuna, what happened to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1 end la? Gandiva walking stick ah maridundra. Holding the Gandiva as a walking stick. Ala suttudhu, kai nadungudhu, kaal nadungudhu, mouth is getting dried up. That mind will not listen to another weakling. That mind cannot derive strength from another weakling. So that mind will listen when, even if the mind has to get educated, the mind will get educated from whom will the mind get educated? Only when you look up to. And mind in the initial stages will get carried away by the showmanship. The initial stages, mind will get carried away by the showmanship. Showmanship என்ன அர்த்தம்? ஷோமேன்னா புரியுதா? என்டர்டெய்னர். ஒரு 4 ஜோக்கு, 2 கதை, 2 இது, நடுப்புற கொஞ்சம் philosophy கொடுத்தா, very beautiful, sir. Showman. After a while, what will happen? That entertainment will get, because எவ்வளவு நாளைக்கு ஒரே சினிமா பார்க்க முடியும்? You can't watch the same movie again and again. You have to go to another movie. You follow what I'm saying? Distinct and different from that is the mind looks up to the person of discipline, self-control, achara. Person who is not, when you see somebody not falling where everybody else is falling, and that person is not falling, your mind will automatically want to get educated under that person. You follow? Mind cannot get educated through data. If mind can get educated through knowledge and information, book is enough. Lectures are enough. And we have heard enough lectures and we have read enough books. But what is it that we are missing? What is it that we are missing? That one person the mind looks up to. Yatyata charati shreshtaha taddat eva itarajanaha. Sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate. Lokaha tat anuvartate. அவங்க பண்றத அப்படியே போட்டோகாப்பி அடிப்பாங்க, அப்படியே பண்ணுவாங்க. Who acharati? Acharati na who leads a life of achar, discipline, control. Mind will learn only from that, because the subject matter here is about mind control. Mind control can be learned from the one whose mind is under control. Mind control cannot be learned from the one who has the same mind like me. If my mind is slipping and falling all the time, from whom will I learn? From another person whose mind is also slipping like me. Yeah. That's why that even if you really want to help others, live a life of achara visa. If you are interested in helping another genuinely, what will you do? You will live a life of achara, sense control, self-control. Because that is what is going to make others look up to you. And looking up to is important for learning to happen. Are you able to understand the link? Learning will happen only when you look up. You follow? That's very, very clear. Sivajnana. Yes, Pa.
If you repeat constantly being direct.
Yes.
Does anybody develop obsession?
Yes. Sivajnanamku ஒரு புது கவலை. New worry that he has developed. Sir, constantly thinking will develop an obsession. So, a person thinking about the divine, will they develop an obsession towards the divine? Very good. Very good. But you cannot develop obsession over the divine. Impossible to develop obsession over the divine. Why? Because divine is piercing. Divine is piercing. The disciplines that divine comes with is so painful. You can never develop obsession. You can develop devotion. That is possible. Bhakti is possible. Brahma is not possible. You can never develop obsession with the divine. Why? Because divine comes in with the obsession. Either or pampering, either or catering, you will develop obsession. When will you develop obsession? Pampering. Is divine going to pamper you? More you get closer to divine, more discipline it will give. Kitta pova discipline. How you can develop obsession? You follow? So you can never develop obsession over divine. If people have developed obsession over the divine, it means they have reduced divine to another worldly object. If they have developed obsession over the divine, you are right. There are a few who have developed obsessions, but it's not about divine. They have reduced the divine to a worldly object. You follow? Obsession will very soon turn into what? Obsession will very soon turn into hatred. Obsessions will turn into hatred. So if you develop obsession over divine, you will develop hatred towards the divine. One thing not going your way is enough. One situation in life is enough. One incident in life is enough. The whole thing gets upset. In bhakti, it won't happen at all. Are you able to follow the difference? In bhakti, it won't happen. Why? Why? What has to happen? Correct. Correct. What has to happen? is happening. What has to happen is happening. Obsession ever. Are you able to follow? Yes, it is possible for the mind to convert the divine into another materialistic worldly object. That is possible. The mind can convert the divine also into a materialistic worldly thing and develop an obsession. But there it is wrong to say obsession over divine. Because obsession over the divine is impossible. Because divine comes with strict discipline. Divine கிட்ட போகணும்னா ரொம்ப ஆச்சாரம் ஆச்சாரம்லாம் பிடிக்கவே பிடிக்காது. எப்படி டிவைன் வரும்? follow? ஆச்சாரமே பிடிக்காது. How can I develop obsession over the divine? But can I develop obsession over achara? Can I develop obsession over achara? You can develop obsession if you have misunderstood that you have already reached the ultimate. Are you able to follow? அதே ஒரு குரு கிட்ட போனா அவர் என்ன சொல்வாரு? You go with the pride of what all achievements I have. You go with that pride to the guru. And what the guru says? எல்லாத்தையும் வாங்கி கீச்சு டஸ்ட்பின்ல போட்டுட்டு go and start all over again. Will you like it? At least ஒரு appreciation ஆவது கொடுக்கலாம்ல. Yeah. At least 5 minutes ஆவது கண்ணுக்கு நேரா கீச்சு போட்டு start all over again. Will you like it? Obsession cannot. But it is possible where you can. It is possible when. Are you able to follow? Lastly, obsession is self-developed. When you become your own guru only, you will develop obsession. Remember that. Again, I repeat. Obsession will develop only when you become your own guru. And everybody is their own gurus. அதனால definitely obsession will happen. Obsession ஆகிறதுக்கு ஒரே கண்டிஷன் தான் சிவஞானம். Obsession வரதுக்கு ஒரே ரீசன் தான். What is the only reason? You become your own guru. Sir, ultimately எனக்கு தானே சார் தெரியும், நான் தானே இந்த சிச்சுவேஷன்ல இருக்கிறேன். I only know what to do, what not to do. No, how can you know? Are you able to follow? Obsession will develop only when you start guiding yourself. You don't guide yourself. You don't guide yourself. Obsession can never. You follow? We'll continue next time.